Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
All right, Brendan Taylor here, True School Sports. Delighted to be joined by the one and only John The Iceman Scully. Nice meeting you the last few days, John.
Yes, sir. How you been, man? It's good to finally meet you in person.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Been a big fan as far as like your boxing insight for years, and
Thank you.
you know you're part of Team Beterbiev.
Yes, sir.
Huge fight this week. I wanted to kind of get your point of view, like. First of all, when did you start working with Beterbiev? Like, how did that come about?
I've been with him for 6 years.
Okay.
He has a great trainer in Mark Ramsey, but they wanted to bring in someone who had fight experience. You know, they could relate to him on a fighter level as a trainer.
Yeah.
So they chose me as a tryout. I went and we hit it off right away the first day, and been with him ever since.
Yeah, and he's become, well, he is boxing's right now knockout king. You know, 17 fights, 17 knockouts, unified champion. You know, you can't do much better than that.
Right. You know, his whole, you know, we work a lot on his boxing, and he's a very, very underrated boxer. And he showed that with Marcus Brown. He's got very good boxing skills and technique, but his whole intention is knockout. Like that's he wants everybody to go.
Yeah. Like, well, you've been around a lot of great fighters. I know you fought one of my favorite fighters, Michael Nunn. Like, when you talk about the great fighters in boxing that you had time to spend time with, what does Artur do? Like, what qualities about him stick out that remind you of great fighters you've seen in the past?
Well, one thing, his training is his mentality. And I always say, mentality is everything. People don't understand. Like Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti in the 9th round of their first fight. That was their mentality that helped them get through that. Without the mentality, neither one of those guys lasts through that round. Artur has that. He showed that with Marcus Brown, where he got the most horrific cut ever, one of the worst cuts ever. And in the corner, he never even mentioned it. It was just an obstacle to overcome. There was no reason to talk about it. There was no reason to complain, and he got better after, which most people with a cut that bad, they would shy away and they would take their time and they would try to regroup. But his whole mentality told him, all right, we got to step it up now. We got to go harder. It's easy to say to do that, but he did it.
Yeah. You mentioned something interesting yesterday when I saw you that, you know, people make a lot about Artur's age, you know, that he's 37 years old, soon to be 38. You said he's one of the only fighters you've ever seen. He's getting better at 35 and up.
If you watch his technique, his execution over the last 2 or 3 years, it's better than it's ever been in his whole career. He's a better fighter. He's the only guy I can honestly say I've ever seen who improved at the age of 35. And he's better now than he was. That's for sure. That's not me saying it, you know, to hype it up. Watch the films. He's better than he was.
Yeah. I know you made light of this, and he's made light of this too in the documentary Top Rank did about you guys, that, you know, when Artur comes in the gym, he says, I want to become a good boxer.
Yeah, that's it's kind of like he means it, but it's kind of a running joke. People in the gym know what he means. Like, we'll be telling him, we'll be really serious and be like, all right, man, you know, you got to get low and you got to dig and you got to use your weight here. And he always says, if I do that, maybe I'll be a good boxer. You know, so his whole thing is, I want to be a good boxer one day. And what he means is, he wants to be well-rounded. He doesn't want to just be a great puncher. He doesn't want to just be a great defensive guy. He wants to be well-rounded. And he's, like I say, he's getting better as he gets older.
And it looks like he's becoming very well-rounded because he can box you up and beat you up.
And he could be a destroyer when he has to. You know, when he gets guys hurt, it's generally over. You know. And he's that guy. I mean, you know, he's a really incredible fighter. Yeah.
I know you guys can't overlook Joe Smith Jr. because he's a very determined challenger, I know Artur won't. But I wanted to pick your brain about, like, what do you think about, like, if he gets past Joe, maybe like that Bivol fight? Because people, because he beat Canelo, people are extremely high on Bivol now.
Right.
Well, how do you see those two styles meshing?
Well, I tell you two things. One, Artur's always told me he doesn't care about fighters and names and the big name.
Yeah.
He wants whoever has the belt. If it's some guy you never heard of and he has a belt, Artur wants to fight him. So he's got 2 of the belts. He beats Joe, he'll have 3. So he wants to fight Bivol. That's it. It's not because he has anything personal against Bivol or he thinks it'll be a great fight. he just said, Bivol has the 4th belt. It makes sense. I want to fight him. And, I admire that. He's not a businessman. He's not trying to shout people out and call people out for nonsense. He doesn't care. He doesn't even watch boxing. He doesn't even.
That's crazy. Yeah, you told me yesterday. Like, he doesn't know who Teofimo Lopez is.
If Teofimo, and that's nothing bad against Teofimo. I'm just saying, a million guys, if they walked up to him and said, "Hey, how you doing?" he wouldn't have a clue who they are. And if you said, "Man, you know who that was?" he'd be like, that guy, he said hello to me. I go, "Man, that's the undisputed champ right there. He was saying hi to you." So yeah, it's amusing because he doesn't admire people. He doesn't look up to just regular people. He just boxes, trains, he goes home to his family. It's just a job that he does.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
all right, I'm here.
And he happens to do it very, very well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about him versus like the other guys? That you got Zotto, you got I mentioned before, you got Zotto and
right. I mean, he's I would say realistically he'd be the favorite against any of those guys. But there's guys that are going to be good fights and anticipated fights. Like I think Artur wins this fight, obviously. Yeah. But I think Joe makes it a good fight. It's going to be entertaining. And there's a lot of guys who would make good fights against Artur. But, it's funny, but I say how some people overlook him and, they don't necessarily respect his boxing skills or they don't associate him with boxing. But that would be good because if people go in thinking that, it'll make Artur's job that much easier. If they don't treat him as a real well-rounded pro, they're going to find out the hard way that he can do many different things.
All they gotta do is go on boxrecord.com and just go look at the names he beat.
Knock out.
Yeah. Do you think Artur is so dominant as a light heavyweight that maybe he won't get his biggest chance until maybe he moves up in weight to cruiserweight?
Even though he fought 201 as an amateur at a high level, Olympics, World Championships, but he makes 75 pretty comfortably. And when you see him at 75, he looks good. He doesn't look drained or anything.
He's like a rock.
Right. He's like, literally, I see him in the dressing room and I'm like, man, it literally looks like they made him out of concrete. They built him. So he's definitely, I think he's comfortable right now. And I think he likes the idea of, he's got a different mentality. He likes the idea of being the champion. He doesn't care about, the cruiserweight WBC change. He doesn't even know who the guy is.
Yeah.
He don't even watch boxing.
He doesn't care about being a star or nothing like that stuff.
He's a humble guy. He's very religious. He's a Muslim. He prays 5 times a day. He's very humble. And he doesn't believe in idolizing people. Yeah. He idolizes God. So when you have that mentality, it's hard to impress a guy like that with other stuff.
Well, it's refreshing to see a fighter that's just focused on doing the job at hand.
Right. I always say, and this is a fact, this is not me hyping him up. This is not me being a PR guy. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If on January 1st, Artur weighed 175 pounds, and we had to go away for a month and leave him, and we say, all right, Artur, we're going away. We'll see you in 30 days. When we come back, he's still going to weigh 175 pounds.
Discipline.
He's going to be in better shape than when we left him. Where a lot of guys, when the coach is away, I can eat, I can skip some days, just naturally that's their reaction. You don't have to worry. You don't have to tell him, you better get up in the morning. I've had guys, I had to get them up in the morning to run. I had to actually physically go to their house, knock on the door, and say, all right, come on, man, we got to run.
They didn't have that discipline or motivation to get up themselves.
Artur does not need anyone to tell him to do anything.
That's a man right there.
He grew up in a culture where you say what you mean what you say, you do what you say, you do what needs to be done, or else you don't survive.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about that aspect.
Okay, John. Well, look, I won't hold you up any much longer, John, but before I end the interview, is there any final message you want to give to the world about, Artur Beterbiev and what you guys got going on Team Beterbiev?
We're just here focused on this fight, hoping that we come through like we think we're going to. I think if I was to guess, if I was to assume, I see a big victory. Because of the styles, I see Artur really catching.
Statement.
I would think. But we're just, you know, I'm excited to be a part of the team. You know, I've been with him 6 years, and you know, I'm really happy to be a part of it and to help him grow.
There you have it, man. John the Iceman Scully, a gentleman and definitely a warrior. Thank you for talking to True School Sports.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button and surely you will not be disappointed. You know, True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, you know, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God.